honestly haven't been watching UFC. Haven't watched it in a long. Well, I mean, besides when I watched a little bit of that at your house like a month or so ago. Besides that, like for some reason, I just haven't.
You never really did.
Well, I mean, I did for not like religious, like I'm getting to fight, but I always went over to friends' house. That's when I feel like. Well, I mean, maybe they still do, but maybe the friend groups I'm around don't do it anymore. But big like UFC parties, like friends would come over and watch the fights, just like old school boxing like parties and shit. And I used to go to those a lot to a friend's house and stuff. But ever since then, I think that was like the George St. Pierre days and all that kind of shit.
Right.
And like a while back, probably when I was about in my early 20s or something
just
like that.
fell off.
Yeah, I just fell off and then never been religiously watching it ever since.
No, but you used to get down with the boxing.
Yeah, I did.
You followed boxing a lot.
I did, and then I stopped watching after the Pacquiao-Mayweather fight, and I just I'm done watching boxing. Yeah.
That bad?
It really did it for me right there.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Because I waited for that fight for so long, and
did you watch the?
I waited for it for so long, and the outcome was just kind of terrible.
Did you watch the Tyson fight?
Oh, with Roy Jones Jr.?
Yeah.
No, because those are two legends for me, and it's hard to watch. I just look at it as a sparring match. Because Tyson said he smoked weed before and shit. Like, bro, I'm not smoking weed before a fight. It's not, for me, it's not a contact. It doesn't do anything for me prepping for war. You know what I'm saying? It kind of puts me more in a relaxed state or just chilling, or it doesn't get me like, yeah, I'm ready to fight type attitude. You know what I'm saying? It almost does the complete opposite.
There's some people that get down like that. I knew a guy on Team Brazo way back 2008, right around there. Randy Couture's gym, Extreme Couture, and this motherfucker would smoke every time before he rolled, before a competition.
I mean, I hear people doing that, but I just feel like, maybe how much better would you be if you didn't?
Yeah. Yeah, no.
But that's just everyone's different, I guess. So it's kind of hard to say. But
yeah. Eddie Bravo says he likes to get in that flow state like that.
Yeah, that dude's on another level though.
Yeah, flat earther though.
Yeah, well, what can you do, man? It's hard out there.
It's hard out there. He's got, he's got all of his focus on this little thing right here, man. And that's why he's super good at it. That's why he's like the best in the world. Dope. Put all your eggs in that basket. It's working out great for him. He doesn't need to put any thought into anything else, right? Just that one thing. He could put 1%, and probably is, to like the face, the shape of the earth. 99% of his brain is going to grappling. Cool. I hope it stays that way. I think the moment he realizes that the earth is a sphere, he will not be as good of a jits fighter. He'll have to, that shit will take up too much of his brain.
I don't know. Do you think he really believes it?
I do, man.
Or is it just like that thing he's like having fun with, like, just going with it?
Nah, dude, I think he's being a genuine person. And that's genuinely what he thinks. That's genuinely why.
I mean, I guess I could get where he's coming from in a way,
I can't.
I know, I hear you, but I mean, he's coming from a perspective of he doesn't believe anything that anybody says, no matter what, unless he sees it 100% for himself. And I get that. Yeah. 100% I get it.
Okay.
Because no matter what, I mean, believe me, I believe in space and all that shit, but I'm just saying, no matter what, we're getting information and seeing things from secondhand or just from what somebody else says, pretty much. I mean, it's truthfully what's going on. I mean, if you think about it, but that's with everything. Any type of information, we're not going out there and doing the fucking experiments ourselves.
No,
you know what I'm saying? So
you're right. That's why there's such a big emphasis placed on peer review.
Mm-hmm.
And with this shit around COVID and these pharmacy companies buying off peer review, it really puts a stain on that and how important it is, right? Because you're right. We're not looking at the radio spectrometers, right? That look at things, that look at the spectral lines left on light, right? To know what chemicals, whatever that light hit is made out of, right? We don't know how to work that machine. We don't cut it like when they geologists, when they take the core samples, and they'll cut those motherfuckers so thin that you shoot light bright enough and it'll go through it, right? It'll be semi-translucent. When it passes through there, they're picking up all the chemicals that's inside of there, all it trapped in the air bubbles, what makes up each of the rocks, right? And they're learning how that rock was made. But we're not doing any of that. We don't know how to break down the material to see if it was if it formed hot or formed cold. We don't know how the chemical composition of this shit, right? We don't know how to work the machines. We don't know how to do none of that stuff. The people that do know how to do that, when they say that, hey, this is the deal, they put it into peer review, and somebody else is supposed to check their work, right? There's supposed to be some cop on the beat. So before it's published, somebody has to try to call bullshit on it. So they have to repeat what was done. Let's throw it in the bucket. It'll be all right. Fucking awesome.
Dude, it went in and made it in the middle thing, dude. It bounced out and made it in the middle fucking...
There it is.
Chingadare.
There's your mulligan.
Ritual magic.
Yeah. Yeah, but see how important it is to... Because now, I would say, you're right, I don't know how to work the machine. But these people do. They're the ones that do it. And they're showing their work. Here's where you find it at. And it's been checked. Yeah. It's been vetted. Mm-hmm. But... Holy fuck. With all the bullshit going around the soft sciences, like psychology... Where like almost 70%, 68% of the articles on the last, I don't know how many years, you can't replicate them. That means they're pseudoscience, right? 60% of the articles in fucking in the soft science journals are fucking bullshit, right? And that's bad. That's fucking huge. But you always figured the hard sciences weren't that, right? You could get Freud over here, but you can't Freud over here. But then with these pharmacies buying off peer review and getting their shit passed without ever being replicated, without anybody even trying to. Holy fuck, that's so bad. You can't lean on it like you could anymore. The bully pulpit that it used to have is done.
I think we're getting close to a time we're not going to be able to determine what's fact and what's not, for the most part, just because of how saturated like the internet and everything is getting with information.
So the best way, the best thing to do when you're sorting through information is, one, you have to apply the same method. The stuff you want, that you like, that you hear about and you think is super dope, like, oh man, I can't wait to tell somebody about it. You got to put that shit through the same method that you put the shit you hear and you're like, that is bullshit. Check it out. Here's how I'm going to debunk it. You got to do that same thing to everything, right? The shit you want to believe and the shit you don't. And it has to be the same method for everything. So you're supposed to consider it, and then you look at the source you're hearing it from. You have to acknowledge why that source is broadcasting it. Is it like something that they agree with, or that they're highlighting for a negative reason, whatever it is, right? Are they vested in it in some way? And then what's the counter apologist to it, right? So you've got an apologist for this thing right here, but there's people that don't agree with that. What are they saying? And then you got to look at both of what they said. So if this side is saying oh yeah, these things are super dope, and this is why. And this side is saying, no, they're not dope. They're really bad for you. And here's why. When you look at that thing, if they're telling the truth, you would expect that thing to be true, right? And if this person was telling the truth, then you would expect that thing to not be true. So you're looking the same thing when you look at both of their retorts. You're looking for what you would expect to find if it's honest, and you're looking for what you would not expect to find if it was honest. And you're also looking for what you would expect to find it was bullshit, and what you would not expect to find if it was bullshit. So you just got to keep your eye out for both of that. And you just run everything through that, and you should be able to parse out good information from bad information. The problem is tossing it out when it doesn't fucking fly, when it doesn't, pass that little shit. Like, you want some things, like, you just agree with it. Sounds like it makes sense, and so you're supposed to, when you get to that point, it is irrational to hold that same position. That's where that fucking term comes from, right? And so when you get to that point, you're supposed to toss it out, but we don't. No. None of us do all the time. Some of us do some of the time. Most of us do often enough, but nobody does it all the time. And the problem is you don't know when you do it and when you don't. Right? So what do you do with that shit? Like, you just have to go through all of your beliefs. It's fucking bonkers. That was Descartes. It's called Cartesian skepticism.
Cartesian skepticism.
Yes. But it's the same method. It's the same method for parsing information online, bro. Mm-hmm. Everybody should have a method. I don't think you do a bad job now.
Maybe.
You think you do?
Yeah, but I also think I can be swayed quick too, without looking through everything, I'm guilty of that, I'm sure I could also be biased in situations too. I'm sure I'm guilty of that.
Everybody,
yeah, I don't know. I know for a fact, dude, that whatever the case is, I just want to know the truth of everything. I don't want to be fooled. I just want to know the truth. That is it, 100%. That's just what I'm seeking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's all. Because I don't know. I feel like it's kind of.
It's important, right?
Yeah, and I feel like it's kind of wishy-washy what's the truth right now, and we're trying to figure it out, And,
yeah, it takes a minute, man.
I'm throwing everything in the same basket, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
When it's just in a weird time where all of us as a species can't even agree on some fundamental things of what we are as human beings, And I feel like once conversations happen like that, where we can't even agree on like black is black and white is white, purple is purple, like
2 + 2 is 4.
like this, like if we can't agree on a simple thing like that, then we have an issue there where we need to figure out before we can get anywhere else.
Yeah.
Because we have to start there. We have to have a common ground.
Yep.
And then we got to go from there.
Yeah.
If we can't even find a common ground anywhere, where do we find logic in anything we're trying to say to each other, or try to find each other's points, or or have valid arguments to each other?
Well, if you guys aren't even using the same words,
yeah,
then you're never going to get what's in your brain into the other person's brain. Because what you're saying make the words you're using paint the picture that's in your head, hopefully, if you pick them well. But if the other person isn't using the words the same way, that picture gets painted the way they use the words.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's fucking retarded. That's the problem. Especially why I keep going to the definitionist fallacy. When people change the definition and act like that's not a fucking thing when they argue for that position. Like that's a fucking problem, man. That's a huge problem. And that's why that dude has that movie, What is a Woman? Exactly that thing. Like, come on, man.
Which he did a good job because he was. It didn't seem like he's throwing anything in anyone's face. He's asking questions and asking direct questions without being like an asshole.
But here's what I'm wondering, because it's an easy question to answer,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's an easy question. What is a woman? The way that because language is plastic. We didn't, in this country, in America, wherever you're at, the way we speak English now, we weren't speaking that 100 years ago. We weren't speaking it 200 years ago, right? We weren't speaking the same way 50 years ago, right? I mean, that was what, the 70s?
Was it more?
How
like,
were they speaking in the 70s?
But isn't that more like slang and shit? Like, isn't that more?
Okay.
Not like.
When was the last time you listened to a Shakespeare play? Because that's where our English came from.
Mm-hmm. Touche.
Right?
Yeah.
So, language is plastic. That shit changes over time. And words, like cool, used to mean one thing, and then it started being slang for something else. Hot, bad, Michael Jackson's album, right? It didn't mean what bad used to mean. Meant what the way that it meant what it meant at that era for that time, the slang. It didn't mean like you were naughty, right? It didn't fucking mean that. But nobody was trying to act like it wasn't a new way of using the words like they are with woman. So to explain an actual phenomenon, a transgender person, it is factually incorrect to use the biological term, male and female. But man and woman have been used interchangeably as long as all of us has been alive, right? Maybe not these youngsters where they probably started hearing it used like that in high school or junior high, where we didn't. It was used, on filling out applications, right? Gender, male, female. It didn't say boy, girl. It said male, female. And it said gender, and you picked one. Because it was used interchangeably our whole lives, right? As long as I've been alive, 46 years, it was used that way. But it's not a biological term. It is itself kind of a fucking slang term. So why not appropriate that for this thing? Since it has the usage that we all recognize, right? Woman, female, adult human, and that is supposed to represent this transgender person, this phenomenon in real life. That word encompasses it. So we'll just apply it to this, and this is what we'll use it to explain gender and not sex. So, woman in that term for somebody that's like it's like transgender, it is an expression for anybody, whether they're male or female, who identifies as a female. Right? And I'm an idiot, and I know that. To highlight the worst ones, right? The really crazy ones that are saying that there's no difference between biology and gender identity. Like, that's not all the motherfuckers on the left. I know that because I've talked to them, right? Most of them aren't on board with that shit. There's a lot of dumb motherfuckers out there, and they are. So to conflate that nobody that he asked gave that answer, which is a simple answer, right? That kind of baffles me. And I'm thinking, if I was putting that movie together, I would edit that shit out and put this crazy shit in there because it makes a way better movie.
I hear what you're saying is that he's like, say there was 100 and say he picked the 5 out of the 100 that said it that way.
Yeah, that are just bonkers.
I get what you're saying. Well, that still doesn't help the fact that these are professors and people in school still teaching whatever those small amount of people. And it's like paying it forward. One person tells 3 tells 9, or whatever.
This is what I'm talking about with peer review. Because that professor, get a PhD, you have to submit something into peer review. And I guaranteed it was some of that feminist iceberg theory shit, right? Guaranteed it was some shit like that. I would bet money that if you looked up her doctoral thesis, that it would be one of those that are non-replicatable. This is exactly the type of motherfucker that I said is ruining the sciences. It's a big deal, man. It is fucking a big deal because you're 100% right. Those motherfuckers are professors. They are in schools. Really, she could have done like that other professor, Melissa Click, that to become a professor, her doctoral thesis was on the Twilight movies, bro. So they want us, the American population, to pay the college tuition so that a person who got a PhD watching Twilight movies, so we can pay her salary. Like, what the fuck? I don't want to pay for that stupid salary. No, that's fucking ridiculous. Those are the type of motherfuckers that are ruining sciences, bro. And they're causing this type of bullshit here. And, I mean, on the right, that motherfucker knows. Right? But he's kind of reining it in right now. He's getting a lot of fucking attention. He's getting a lot of money by saying that he doesn't get that concept at all. And it's a false dichotomy, right? Because what he's saying is a woman is this, but they're saying this. Well, these motherfuckers are saying this, but that's not the only thing that's being said. This other thing is being said too. And to ignore that, that's lying too. Because I know he knows it.
No. Yeah. That's a little dark part of that world. All that shit.
All right.
Yeah, it took me a while.
So when the fights come on,
yeah.
do you want to just do a couple of the fights?
Yeah, first of all, I don't want to call it that thing that it's called. I want to just stray away from that.
Oh, okay.
Because we've already said that a few times. We just come with our own thing.
Yes.
I'm down to try it. I just want to. I need to go over a few things in my head to make it work, because I want to make it to where you and I could go back and we know to start it at a certain time. If it's a full, like, are we going to be able to watch the whole event, or do we have to watch individual fights, or can you watch the whole event in its entirety?
You could watch the whole event, or you could just skip to the fights and you'll start right at the beginning of the fights.
Because my opinion is, if we watch the whole event, then we'd be able to sync up, because we would know the whole event by whenever we start it, and then we'll do something in the video where we can sync it up, and then boom, me and you can go back and watch it again with it.
So
you know what I'm saying?
So somebody could watch it while it's playing.
Yeah.
Got it.
So you could go back and watch the fight and then listen to it too. You know what I'm saying?
Dope.
So you would know, you'd be able to sync up the main event, because then it would be more difficult. We're just watching fight after fight, you know, like clips, because then we won't know how to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that way this could play while somebody's watching the fights.
Yeah, if they wanted to, or just us. You know, we want to go back and just, hey, let's check it out, you know?
Holy
shit. I'm fucking...
Dude, that's fucking dope, man.
Something like that, you know?
Any excuse to watch the fights anyways, I'm on board with.
Yeah.
These ones are going to be good, too. They got Tony Ferguson fighting again.
Mm-hmm.
Right. He was looking so sharp in that last one till he got front kicked into a grumpy old man. He was looking good. He was looking really good. He wasn't doing anything fucked up. Like, it looked like he was gonna take that fight, and it was gonna be a good return for him. He got caught. He got caught with something fucking fierce. But yeah, he didn't look bad. He didn't look scared. He didn't look like he was fucking pulling his punches. He went in there and was fucking shit up, man.
Yeah, it's a crazy time. I feel like now is a good time to get into UFC if you haven't been, right? Obviously, because everyone's a fucking monster in UFC right now. Like every single person is like, right, is
Yeah.
like a psychopath monster in UFC now.
Yeah.
Like it's like probably the most competitive thing out there right now, right? I mean,
Yeah, they've got a lot better talent. It's gone up. It's gone up a lot.
I mean, yeah, football, all that shit's competitive. You know, you got to be the cream of the crop. But right now, with fighters of the whole world,
Yeah.
like I feel like this is the most competitive and tightly. I don't know the word, but it's like no room for error, kind of. You know, if you're a fighter,
Oh yeah.
you know.
Yeah, because you get caught in
Yeah.
something.
Mm-hmm.
You either get slept
Yeah.
or broken off.
Which I feel like which is why I feel like I'm getting more excited about it. Because obviously, when I listen to Joe Rogan, I'm listening to him talking about it and all that shit. And yeah, it's been interesting. Been interesting. God damn it! What's the fucking word? It's been it's been grabbing my attention again, or whatever the fuck, so that I can because of what I've been hearing about the sport.
Were you trying to say intriguing?
No, I've been getting interested in it again. Well, I'm trying to find that fucking word, but I couldn't spit it out. I don't know what the fucking. There's a fucking word.
It's been interesting again.
It's been interesting me again.
Yes.
Interesting me. That ain't right, dude. That ain't right, bro. That's not how you say it. I'm retarded.
Hey, we're fine. We're moving on. Going forward, bro.
Anyways, but I feel like yeah, dude, just all the fighters. I mean, it's always been a competitive sport, but as the years go on, and the more and more talent that enters the sport, the hunger in it, it's just anything could happen, and it's craziness. I don't know. It's an exciting time right now. I think that's why I feel like I want to get back into watching it tough again. So.
Yeah. I remember when they had their superstars, and they had a couple superstars in each division, and you got to see them fight. But now there's a lot of them. I mean, Tony Ferguson is still a badass, but he beat a lot of badass motherfuckers. And now they're gonna try to beat him again. Like, he could run it all the way back, fight everybody that he's already fought and won, and see if they could beat him now after he's hit this skid.
Mm-hmm.
And I would watch all of those, right? But there's so many big names in each weight class now. Like, there's a.
Mm-hmm. That's good though. It makes it like all the fights exciting, you know.
Yeah, I mean, look at this one, right? I mean, neither of them are number one ranked, right? What is Nate Diaz ranked as? Is he in the top? Sorry, Brad. I'll call you later.
He's got like 15.
Is he in the top 10 though?
I think he's like 21 and 15. Hey, I'm not saying nothing against it. That motherfucker's a savage.
Yeah.
That's just his record. You know?
Yeah, he's fought.
He don't mind. He'll take it now. He don't give a shit.
Yeah, and name the person. He's probably fought him.
Yeah. He's a bad motherfucker too.
Yeah.
I didn't want that to sound like it was a knock. It's not. It's just that fool's going in there and just fighting everybody. He don't give a shit.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah. Fuck it. I'll fight him.
They didn't pick and choose to mature his growth. They just here's a dog.
That's respectful, dude. You know what I'm saying? And well, because in the real world, bro, you don't win every fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's more of a reality, you know.
Well, you know what, man? It's something that I think more people needed to see.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Even though he's got that record, people will still pay to watch him. They still like him. He's still a fan favorite. You don't have to have a goose egg to be a fan favorite, right? You could just be a fighter. You could be just a fighter. So much of just a fighter that nobody could picture. You couldn't picture Nate Diaz working at McDonald's, could you?
Fucking people up, maybe.
Right. That's all you could picture that man doing is being a fighter. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. it's good that organizations can see, like Pride did, they don't got to be an undefeated fighter to be a draw. They can just be a fighter. People want to see fighters fight. That's why they're watching the UFC, because they want to see fighters fighting.
Yeah, you can't wreck like that in boxing.
Yeah. So, yeah, they needed to see that, man. I think Nate Diaz and Nick Diaz, I think both of them doing a dope shit.
How fucking old is he now?
I don't know.
When's the last time he fought?
36?
Yeah, when's the last time he fought?
I don't know. I don't think it was that
It's had to have
long
been,
ago.
really? It's not like I'm the one to ask that question, because I haven't been watching, but...
All right, let's see. Yeah, 21-13. He's 37. Let's see. Let's go to his wiki. Mixed martial arts record. Leon Edwards. 2021. Fought Jorge Masvidal. 2019.
Masvidal won?
Yeah. Beat Anthony Pettis in 19. Lost to Conor McGregor in 16. Beat Conor McGregor in 16. Beat Michael Johnson in 2015.
That fool's
2014, 13, 13, 12, 12.
Wait, that fool's coming back too, huh? Is he going to be able to win again?
Who?
McGregor?
I don't know. Probably not.
Just paydays?
Fucking Donald Cerrone retired too.
Just paydays?
Maybe. Maybe, man. I don't know. Who would you pay to watch that man fight? Jake Paul?
Fucking guy. Jake Paul.
Would you watch Paul and McGregor fight in an MMA fight?
No.
Where they
The dude's like 6 foot fucking whatever. Can
Yeah.
he fight a dude his fucking height once?
No, he doesn't
One
want
time.
Oh, okay, but they can't
Bro,
be young
you can't
or
be
fit.
6'2".
They can't be young or fit.
My
They
fool's
can't-
tall, bro. You can't be 6'1", 6'2", fighting 5'10", dude.
They gotta
5'9", dudes. Like, come on, bro.
No, they gotta come in with a dad bod, then they can be 6'1".
That's like me and you just boxing rules.
Yeah, that's not
like,
gonna work out for me.
That's not a good fucking...
That's not gonna work
that
out for
sounded
me.
kind of fucked up to say.
No, you
Watch
didn't.
weed boxing, you just knocked me out.
Bro,
It'd be
you
funny.
were a heavyweight. You were a heavyweight boxer.
I mean, I
Were you
wasn't
not?
supposed to.
Were you not though?
Yeah, it was.
All right. Do you think I was a heavyweight boxer?
No, but that don't matter, dude. I've seen what's his name? Montel Griffin spar Hasim Rahman. Was it Hasim Rahman? Yeah, Hasim Rahman.
I
Hasim
seen
Rahman.
Pernell Whitaker spar Shaquille O'Neal.
Fucking motherfuckers. Yeah, Shaquille. Come on. Just. Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, he's calling back. Hey Brad, what's going on? You're on the podcast. Hello? Hey Brad. That happens all the time.
Why is he calling? Doesn't he have a different job?
I think he booty called me.
Isn't he at a different job?
He did booty call me. Booty calling me. I get a lot of booty calls.
From
Pretty
him?
That's all I get.
What did you talk to him recently?
No. Dude, I haven't talked to a lot of people. I haven't talked to most people recently. Like outside of my household. You guys at work.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're meaning and you're spot on. Right. Like that's not a path to success for me. Why would I do that? That's fucking retarded. Right. Like, oh, I'm gonna be a fucking tough guy. That would be stupid. That would be the dumbest way to do that. If we had to do it by those rules, I wouldn't bet. I wouldn't bet on me.
I don't know.
Just saying.
Whatever.
But if we could do MMA rules, I'm betting
Oh,
on me.
hell no. I'm running,
betting
bro.
on me.
I'm running.
I am fucking...
I'm running.
I'm low leg kicking right above
Nah,
your
bro.
ankles.
I'm putting on a fucking hoodie and going and betting on you too, bro, so I can get the payday too. Shit.
Oh, I'm going straight for that back.
I'm putting life savings on the fucking that shit.
It's going to happen
No,
so fast.
no. You won't be able to catch me because I'll be running the other way out the fucking ring,
Well, give
bro.
me your back right away.
I'm out of here. The minute I enter the fucking locker room, I'm out, dude.
But boxing,
Who even knows, bro? I don't remember last time I threw.
hard night.
Well, I don't remember last time I threw a punch. Who fucking knows?
Oh, yeah, well, I got the Wii here, man. Why don't you do some?
I don't want to
boxing?
get my ass beat by some easy ass fucking avatar dude in virtual reality too, and fucking piss me off.
Bro, you won't lose. But I'll tell you right now, that's more of an exercise than you think it's gonna be.
Well, I know, because the motherfucker should be knocked out before he is. That's the fucked up thing.
Well, you can adjust it. See, we should do that then.
Because I'm like, I know this motherfucker. I've hit this fool with a few things. He would have been at least stopped.
Yeah, no, we'll glass the chin up. It'll be like fighting babies.
Oh, just every punch, just knock him out. Yeah, it makes me want to play that Gorn game or that all that
it's
shit, all those crazy physics games where you're just murdering it like raids of people.
You got to play the Double Dragon VR game.
Dude, are you ready for October?
What's October?
The new quest.
Yeah, what the fuck is it gonna do? How are they roping me in? Right? How are they roping me in?
Better graphics, better screens, lighter, smaller, eye tracking, facial feature tracking, pass through, I think, color pass through,
Oh, color pass through?
and I think even better quality pass through, I think.
Yeah. Might have me on some of those features, like the lighter and all that. I don't give a fuck about
Well,
that.
it's because I think they want you to, dude. What do you mean you don't give a fuck? Don't you want a fucking headset on you that doesn't feel like you have a fucking headset on you?
Yes, but I don't need to buy every stage, every interaction
I know, but
between then
not
and then.
every half hour. You're like, God damn this fucking.
Nah.
Oh, stop it.
Nah.
Stop it, bro.
I've had a hard life.
It's a hindrance, bro.
I've had a hard life.
I know, but it could be better.
It could. I'm not saying you're 100%. Please make it better.
Ready Player One. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
But yeah, but I don't need to buy every make and model along the way. I can skip a couple.
Well, I do.
Dude, I can skip a couple, man.
I do. I got every game system there fucking is, I think, at home.
Okay, what about the haptic gloves?
Okay, well, I got all the little accessories. I just said okay. Besides all the fucking crazy expensive VR goggles and shit, I got every like game system there is.
There's a haptic vest.
Besides like the fucking first fucking ones that were invented.
See, there's a haptic vest. There's two of them.
Yeah, no.
And there's the haptic gloves. The gloves might be worth getting.
Not yet.
Those ones have sensors so that you can feel the individual drops.
Mm-hmm.
The vest doesn't.
I hear you. But I watched this guy, all he does is like VR shit. And he spent like this ridiculous amount of money for every like VR accessory that you could have for full body immersion. So he had the fucking like the fucking suit, the gloves, the suspended fucking running treadmill thing, like where he could fucking literally be levitating, swimming, all that shit, bro. And he was playing all these crazy things and he was saying like it's not that seamless yet. You know, they're working on it. God damn you, Brad.
Scam.
So it was it's not seamless. You have to like mod a lot of things for him to work. It doesn't really work properly. But he's saying it's showing a glimpse of what's fucking coming, and he says it is awesome. But he's like, it's just not there.
No.
But it is.
Well,
like,
look at games, right? They started off with Pong. in my lifetime, they went from Pong to Call of Duty or The Last of Us, shit like that, right? That is fucking dope. And now we got VR, but it's in its infancy. This is the Atari version of VR, man. Yeah. What's that motherfucker gonna be like?
Surrogates.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. No. Oh man, I don't even know where to go, because once I start thinking about all this stuff, I start going down this spiral. Where I just start hip hopping. I start just like jumping to like all over the place, and then I lose control and I freak out. That's what happens. Okay,
let's go.
But it's like,
let's go down.
As the VR gets better, you know what I'm saying? Then AI gets better and all this kind of shit. It's just like, man. Is it going to be like Ready Player One, where, or even, dude, have you watched like the meta showcase with Mark Zuckerberg? Like, it's probably been a year by now, but it's when he switched Facebook over to Meta, and he's talking about this, and he's showing like the blueprint and the vision for what he sees, like the meta world, the metaverse.
Cool. I did not watch that.
It's like an hour long, dude, and it's a whole like showcase, like almost like an Apple iPhone release. Yeah. And he's explaining what's not here yet, but the vision for what this metaverse shit's gonna be.
What's it gonna look like?
I mean, work is gonna be it's gonna be your real life, but also in there too. Like, you'll be able to,
like, if I want to go grocery shopping, I can just, instead of pulling up my tablet, I can just throw on the VR. Walk through, grab some stuff, and then take off the headset, and
maybe it'll get delivered to you. That will be. You won't have to, but yeah, that'd probably be a thing.
I'm on board.
Just now meetings. Everyone's got their own little avatar, and you're in a meeting room, just having meetings in your virtual world.
Yeah, imagine instead of doing like the checking with your tablet.
Yeah.
Right. You put on the little VR goggles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you go and stand in front of a VR teller, and you that way, instead of just using a machine, you're actually interacting with somebody. But are you really? Kind of, but not.
Yeah. Have you seen Ready Player One?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Crazy, huh?
Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about. You put on the VR, and then you go to a VR bank. You don't have to go anywhere. You just push a button. Bam. Hey. Zoom into the bank. Walk up to the teller. Hey, here's my stuff.
Okay, so now as we get more into that and things are more digital and stuff like that, it's like, okay, but now who's controlling all that shit? You know? Like, I don't know, bro.
Dude, just imagine that. You're sitting there. You're sitting in your couch with your VR goggles on, talking to a VR person at a bank teller, right? Let's say they got their own avatar. Right, and you got your avatar, and then you pull out your card, and the headset scans it, right, and then you do the whole putting it into the reader, and really what's happening is your thing is reading it, and then you can do the transaction right there, like anything you can do. Your check, I'm gonna deposit this check, boop, and then it gets deposited, and then you want to. Put money on your mortgage from your checking. You can do that there, and then you can check your balance and maybe, grab some, get some funds out. All right there, gets hit to your fucking to your little Apple Wallet or whatever, bam, or your Venmo. It's already in your phone. Bam, ready to go. How dope would that be? I'd be behind that.
I guess.
Any excuse not to go anywhere right now.
But who's the wizard behind the Oz, Who's the Wizard of Oz, Who's behind the curtain?
Oh, yeah, they're getting all your data.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, who's behind the curtain? And once it's like, I don't know.
And now they're watching your eyes. Now they're going to be looking at what you're looking. So if you're looking at a girl, they're going to know what parts of that girl you're looking at.
Like, don't get me wrong, dude. That shit sounds awesome to me. You don't think dude, that Walking Dead zombie game is fucking awesome, dude.
That's scary.
I just think it's probably, in my opinion, it's the best fucking
it is super
all around experience, because
I get
well, I mean, I don't know because I mean, from what I've played, because it feels like your character. It feels like you're in there. You know, you're going out. It's progressive. You know, you get to take items. You have a backpack. You get to take items. Things break down.
You got your home.
Yeah, that's all that kind of shit, dude. I think that's a good blueprint for VR games, dude. And that's like the only one like it. It feels like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. Like the Milsim games aren't like that. Pavlov.
Yeah, I mean, even the Resident Evil game and all that. It's fun, cool. I'm killing zombies, but it's like the whole purpose of that is like immersion. Well, I mean, that is immersive, but you know what I mean.
They got that other one too. That was it Green Hell?
Yeah, I bought that, but I got to get into that, and it's not 100% really that good on the Quest, because like when you turn, it's more like transition instead of seamless.
Can you change that?
It seems like it's kind of for this version. It's still kind of like beta-ish or something. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's 100%
check
there.
the settings because like you can change the settings on some of these.
I know, and I'm usually pretty much on that because I hate that. That shit sucks.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just seems like right now for the Quest and the Walking Dead game, man, that I'm just for it to be able to play on that whole game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything you could do in there.
And the extended packs.
Yeah, and to be able to just play it on that without a cord hooked up to a computer, I mean, that's crazy. Because you can tell with a lot of the games there's just not enough room to do that, and it seems like somehow they've found a way to, you know, mold a game towards...
You know what I want to do when I play that game? I want to take it out to the salt flats and get a Wi-Fi, right? A little pocket Wi-Fi, a little travel Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And a little battery pack, and go out there with an area that's the size of the map. And instead of using my little fingers to move forward, I want to walk that whole thing down.
No, I hear you. I want to go. I want a big enough area too, to where like you're playing going and shit, you can jump around and run around and fucking do all that shit. You don't have to worry about running into a wall or fucking.
Yeah.
You know. And I saw a dude do it in a video at a park, and he did it kind of as a joke, but it was funny as hell. He was playing that gorilla game, the gorilla tag game.
Okay.
But he was playing it at a park, and he had somebody film him do it so he could see reactions of other people watching him play a VR game in the park, running around and shit.
Did they look at him like he's crazy?
Yeah, dude, like, what's this fucking kid? Because first of all, they probably don't even know what that is. And he's just running around the park with these little controllers, like, playing a gorilla tag game.
That was probably a lot of fun, though.
But it's just kind of weird when you think about the Matrix, dude, and then you just see how kind of the similarities of, you know, VR to, like, you know, the whole...
Yeah, imagine when you don't need one of those external eye ports. You just have that shit, like, beamed right in your head.
Oh, you mean like the Neuralink?
Uh-huh. Just beam that right in. What the fuck would happen? What would happen to society if that's how you were able to learn? You could just get shit beamed in. You could just have lessons beamed in, right into your head, just dropped right in there. Now,
well, I don't know. I don't think society would be like it is now, because
you don't think so? I think it'd be worse.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it'd be like it is now, because if you could just do that, then there wouldn't be motherfuckers working at McDonald's. There wouldn't be motherfuckers. If they could just put information in them to be fucking super genius, like. Bro, it'd probably be chaos.
Bro.
It'd probably be chaos.
People wouldn't be super geniuses.
Yeah, it's not going to be what people think. Like, oh, we're all going to a store and getting that. Like, no, you got to understand the repercussions of all that.
Okay,
you know?
Here's what I'm saying. We all have access to some of human knowledge on this, right? Every peer-reviewed article in the world is available on here, and you can translate it to your language, right? You can look at any educational video about anything. Right, you can watch TV on it, all that shit. You could learn languages, and I've got math channels on here because I need to bone up on my math. So when I helped my son, I knew the math.
Common Core.
But are we? how often do you watch stuff like that when you're watching shit? And how often do you watch, like, dumb shit? It's mostly dumb shit. Most people take in dumb shit, right? That's what most people would be zooming into their brain, is just mass amounts of dumb shit, right? It's shit talking and hating motherfuckers and talking shit and how dope is this stuff? Look what I got. It's all this fucking dumb random shit. And it would just be swamping their brains with useless shit. And that, since their brain is taking most of that in, that would be their world to them, right? That is the stuff that would always be on their mind, because that's what is always coming in. I think it would make people fucking stupid.
Yeah, I don't know if it's even possible. Well, maybe our brains don't have the capacity for that. Like, it sounds good, like, oh, cool, be able to have a fucking thing, learn shit, but maybe our brains it's just not possible. You know what I'm saying?
No, you get one of those QAnon motherfuckers, or one of those David Avocado on the left motherfuckers, and you just mass dump all that garbage, that Gaia and QAnon garbage into their heads. Bro, those motherfuckers the more shit from those resources they dump in their head, the dumber they get. And it's just fucking an avalanche at a time. They're just going to get dumber by the fucking second. Be retarded.
Do you...
Am I wrong?
Do you believe in... Oh, God. Do you believe in spirits at all? Or any type of outside forces?
Nah.
Intelligent forces?
I don't...
I'm just curious.
So I don't have an opinion.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't seen them. I hear people saying it all the time. I haven't seen it. I hear what people say about it. Like, oh, like somebody dies here, and then I go to where people die.
I don't mean like a ghost that's like, boo! But I mean like, you know...
The poltergeist, none of that stuff.
Nah, yeah. But more like, yeah.
Like the orb?
Yeah, that's just dust flying by on a fucking camera. Like, Jesus Christ. It's a dust particle, you cocksuckers. Jesus.
I made one.
An orb!
I made one. I did a video of one where we made it because dude at work said he had video proof that orbs are real. I said it better not be some stupid shit, because I can make some video proof that orbs are real, and it'll be fucking total bullshit. I'll tell you exactly how I did it, and I made one. And he showed me it, and my shit was better than his shit. His shit was way fucking goofier. And motherfuckers do shit like that, man. Right? People get fooled. People get fooled all the time. So, I don't know. Maybe there is. Maybe we just don't know about it yet. Maybe the tools we have don't pick up shit like that. But maybe a tool in the future will. Why? What's up?
No, I'm just asking random stupid questions.
Because I know you do. Right? Spirits and like, not demonic possessions, but like other things.
No, demonic possession. That could. I feel that could. I don't mean like. I don't know how I feel about demonic possession. Just because I don't know. I've never seen it. I don't know how I feel about that. Okay. But people being. Oh, you need that?
Yeah. It's up there.
People. I feel like, okay, now you know the person I was like when I was on heroin.
Yeah.
Okay, like that twisted mentality, all that, you know, like I don't know if, but see, that doesn't make sense, because that's just you making choices and you turning into a person from the choices you've made. But I feel like that could be a form of possession in a way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you aren't under your own free will. It has been co-opted.
Yeah, I don't know. That just kind of
Yeah,
sounds
'cause you
weird how
wouldn't
I'm trying to
have made the
explain it.
same
Yeah.
choices.
Yeah, it just sounds weird how I'm trying to explain it.
I get what
don't
you're
know.
saying, though.
Yeah. But, yeah.
It's not by an entity, but it wouldn't be a bad translation to use possession if you were like explaining it to, I don't know, a third world tribe,
Yeah.
and they didn't have, like modern medicine, and you were just saying, this here, this is like a possession.
Hmm.
Yeah, that would be an accurate fucking translation.
I mean, did I tell you about? I think didn't we talk about it on here before? Didn't I tell you about like something that happened to me at the Dream Center when I was there at that place in California?
Yeah, you did.
About, at least I think I saw something in my room, like a dark shadowy thing, and then kind of just saw it kind of in a corner.
Yeah.
And then noticing it, and then it just kind of coming at me in a way, and
Yeah.
then that's it. I told you about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the only thing, though. But see, I don't know if I could have been in a dream state. I don't know any of that shit.
Yeah, some psychosis, whatever.
Yeah, but that doesn't, because I literally feel like I've had experiences with that one Hawaiian guy, too, who would just, he almost had like split personalities, you know what I'm saying? And he would switch into this whole spiritual bullets, like he'd be talking about spirits and all this weird shit. And that's that one time when we were doing that Psalms and Proverbs in the fucking hall, and he was in front of me, and he kicks back super fast, and I felt like I saw his eyes were black. I can't back that up because memories are weird, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's how I feel, I recall, because I remember it freaking me out.
Yeah.
And I remember him like cocking back, just looking at me without me even saying anything, though.
Yeah.
You know, and he was my roommate.
Yeah.
You know.
100%.
And that spiritual encounter, I think that happened while he was my roommate.
Huh.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And because people were telling me he's dealing with shit. And I don't know, fucking. So that just kind of, that, in a way, that's why I'm asking, just because, I don't know if he was dealing with something. That just depends on if you believe in that kind of shit in the first place, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to start there before you even like, all right, dude,
Right.
But that's that's the only experience, I've had, just because the place I was at, it's a very religious establishment.
Right, so you're primed.
It's where people are going to get right. It's drug addicts, homeless people, all kinds of stuff, man. All kinds of walks of life in one place, trying to get right and dealing with their inner demons, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And in a very religious place. And that used to be a Catholic hospital back in an abandoned Catholic hospital back in the day. That's got converted present day into like a what do you call it, like a charity type Christian
like a halfway house
in a way, but it's a church. They clean up neighborhoods. They are a food bank. Yeah, pretty much, for all the above. Sex trafficking women, all that. They go and get sex trafficked women.
Sex traffic women there?
No, no. It's just like they actually even work with the police to take in sex trafficked women into the establishment. Nice. They have like a floor in the hospital because they converted the hospital into like a rehabilitation center. So now, because it's got floors like a hospital, so they got like a floor for the women's discipleship program, and then the men are on a different floor and all that kind of shit. And then you got the sex trafficked women, all that. You got the emancipated youth. You got homeless vets, all that kind of stuff. So there's an establishment like that,
Huh.
So that's just a little bit of background of that. But that's the only place I dealt with that, So.
It's kind of cool you got to experience that shit.
Well, I think it's the only thing that got me. No matter what happened there, whatever it was, in the 2.5 to almost 3 years I was there, it's the only thing that worked to make me stop doing heroin.
Took a lot then.
And but I do remember there was a period when I sat there and I like prayed. I was like, God, please. I was like, just take this craving away from me. You know what I'm saying? I remember praying that a lot because I was just sick of it, man. I was sick of having the craving for that shit. I was like, I don't want to do this, but I want it. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, bro, ever since I've been away from that place, I haven't even been like, man, that'd be great right now. You know,
just left
like,
it all there.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's compartmentalizing right there.
Yeah.
You put all of that together in that
Yeah.
one little spot, and that's where you leave it. Yeah.
But you know,
It wasn't it nice though when you were sitting there praying, and let me know if I'm wrong. The state you're in, the brain state you're in, right, where your head's at. It's a like there's a desperation there, and in this place they're telling you, hey man, we got this thing right here, right? This God stuff, this Jesus stuff. There's some hope there, right? You've been learning this stuff, and they're telling you, hey man, this will work. I guarantee you. When you were praying, didn't it give you some comforting to believe that there was somebody there listening that could fucking help you out?
yeah, but see, another thing too is like, I had the belief in that before I was even in that place because I grew up in that shit. You know?
Right.
So I don't mean to call it shit. You know what I mean?
But wasn't it nice though to believe that there was somebody that was hearing that and cared about it?
Yeah. I mean, that's if I don't believe that that's still the case.
Do you not believe that?
No, I don't know if it's like 100% like organized religion says, you know what I'm saying? But yeah.
So what do you believe? What is it? What is your God belief, yo?
It's hard. I mean, it's hard because I think it's still evolving. You know.
Well,
And I don't know, and I go back and forth. You know, sometimes I believe things, sometimes I don't. You know, it's a struggle. It's a struggle back and forth. Yeah.
Okay.
But I know this is said a lot, but I try to live my life as if I believe there is a God.
So when you're waning back and forth, in the term for that would be spiritual warfare.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see it as that, or do you see it as an investigation? You're learning. You're trying to figure things out. You're getting these clues, and you're trying to see where it leads you. You don't have a set destination. You're just hoping for the best when you figure out where all these clues are leading you.
Well, it's just kind of tricky because when you're being taught, you're taught that the devil's a liar.
Yeah.
You're taught that he's tricky.
Yeah.
You're taught, you're taught that you can be led astray and believe things that aren't the right thing, that he's that good at making you believe that kind of shit. So when you got that in your head, you feel like if you're investigating or whatever, in the back of your head, you're like, oh, this could be a trick of the devil. Because then in your head, you're like, oh, the devil knows the Bible probably knows the Bible more than anybody. He spit scripture at Jesus when he was but he spit scripture in a way that was deceiving. You know what I'm saying? So he spit scripture at Jesus in that way, you know? So if you believe that, then you believe that then Satan knows the Bible probably better than you and could probably twist you into thinking things that probably aren't the same way. So in my belief, I do think a lot of denominations and a lot of that's happened to a lot. And especially nowadays has entered into the church, and especially with the gay pastors and the transgender and the stuff going on in the church and
female
the
pastors,
drag queen shows in church.
Right.
That's a thing. All that kind of stuff. I see that as deception from, that's a way I look at it.
Okay. Do you also notice that that's a hell of a defense mechanism to keep any scrutiny of the theology, keep all of that out, I got you.
but it's also
It's like I don't want to be a heretic.
Yep. And it's also terrifying when you believe all that and you know the ultimate for fucking it up and not getting it right is what? Right?
Eternal
Which is a
damnation.
fucked up way to think about it.
Right,
that
because
gets
I'm
hung
trying.
over your head, right? And
Right.
Because that's what
you see me trying. You can read my
no,
heart. You
I
know
hear,
where I'm at.
No, I know where you're at, dude. Because I know you even know it probably more than. No, I know for a fact you know it deeper than I have. Okay.
You want your mind blown? You want your mind blown? I can blow your mind.
That's fine. I mean,
you want it
Sure,
blown. All
sure.
right. Hold up.
no, I know the Bible in there, right? It's right in there.
Yeah.
The
No,
Gideons.
Yo. Okay. So the enemy is the liar. God always tells the truth. That is what he is. He is truth, right?
Are you gonna tell me you lied now?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna blow your mind.
You trying to fuck with
I'm
my?
gonna blow your
You
mind.
trying to rattle my ship?
I'm
Is that
gonna-
what you're saying?
no, I'm gonna blow your mind. Do with it what you may. Okay. Do with it what you may.
But see, I'm not like an extreme fucking person
No,
who's like,
I
you're
was,
going to fucking hell. You know, it's just me trying to find it out for myself. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because believe me, I think where I'm at, I don't think I'm batting 1,000. To be honest with you, where I'm at in the walk either. So, you know,
Okay. Chapter 3, Genesis.
Genesis.
So,
Wait, I'm gonna pull it up on my phone real quick.
yeah, I got this one was
I got
just
the
the one
app
that was
on my
in the
phone.
church.
Yeah.
Or
What's
in
the
the,
version?
This is the Gideon's Bible.
Oh.
So this is an Armenian theology.
Oh, this is not a New King James. King James.
Oh, it's
doesn't
the New
say?
King James.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But it's Armenian theology, general, boilerplate Christian shit. It's not reformed or anything like that. All right, chapter 3. It says now the
fall.
Everything's been named, right? This is the fall. So they've been warned by God, don't eat of the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil, which you would wonder why that's bad to know good and evil.
Or why even make the fucking tree in the first place?
And why put it there, right? Anyways, it says, hey, don't do that, or you will, in that day, you will surely die, right? Let's look up the exact words. All right. These are the generations, man, planted a garden. Let me see. Water, and then you may surely eat of every tree, but the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat. For in the day that you eat of it, you shall surely die. Right? That's chapter 2, 17. Right? 16 and 17.
Wait, what?
Chapter 2, Genesis, chapter 2, 16 and 17. That God says, hey, the day that you eat this tree, that day you will surely die. So don't eat this tree, right? Then here comes the devil. Well, the serpent. They don't call him the devil yet, right? So here comes the serpent that can talk. It's a talking serpent. And it tells Eve, he says, he was a crafty serpent too. He was crafty. And it says, he was
What?
more crafty.
What's with the eyes? What
No,
does that
because
mean?
it's funny. It says, so it literally says, now the serpent was more crafty than any other beast of the field that the Lord God had made. So already this is just a crafty serpent. It's not the devil. It's a crafty serpent, right? Because he said it is more crafty than any other beast of the field. We're not talking about the devil here. And he says, he said to the woman, did God actually say, you shall not eat of the tree in the garden? And the woman said to the serpent, we may eat of the tree of the trees in the garden, but God said, thou shalt not eat of the fruit of the tree that's in the midst of the garden, neither shall you touch it, lest you die. But the serpent said to the woman, you will not surely die. Right? So let's contrast. God said, if you eat the fruit of that tree, you will surely die. The woman says that God said that, and the serpent says, You will not die if you eat that. If you eat the fruit of that tree, you won't die. All right? For God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. So God said, if you eat this, you're going to die. The serpent that was made with all the other beasts in the field, so not the angels that were made before the beasts in the field, right? The serpent says, no, that's not going to happen. If you eat that, you are going to know good and evil. That's why it's called the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So you're going to know good and evil. You're not going to die. You're going to know this shit. What happens if we keep reading this story when she eats the fruit? Does she die? Or does she know good and evil? What happens in the story?
She knew good and evil.
Okay, who said that was what was going to happen? Did God say that, or did the serpent say that?
Serpent.
Did God say that she was going to die?
No.
Did she die?
Oh, yes, but
yes,
no.
but she didn't die, did
Yeah.
she? Did what happened to her in the story? Is that what the serpent said was going to happen, or what God said was going to happen?
Depends on how you look at it.
It's literally what the serpent said was going to happen is what happened.
It depends on how you look at it.
He literally says, no, you aren't going to die. Your eyes are going to be open, and you're going to be like God. You're going to know the difference between good and evil. Now, in that story that's in the Bible, God lied. Also, you could look up where God said, where it's in the Bible where it says, and if any word of the scribes has been made a lie, then it is I that have made it a lie. He directs the hand of the lying scribe, or when he sent a strong delusion against Pharaoh's people, right? A strong delusion means he made them all think something that wasn't true. He lied. He made them think lies. Huh. Do with that what you may. But what's in there isn't always what people say is in there. And what they say about what's in there, well, that can't be the case if what's in there isn't what they say is in there. Right? Now, Sammy believes that this is a parable. This is a story. Like we talked about before, Jesus talks to people in parables. That way, to understand it, you got to go back to him. So it's a way of bringing you into him, right? Keep coming on back. This is how I'm gonna hook you in with the parable, and then you're gonna come back in when you get addicted to the message, right? So this parable is a you can never go home once you leave story, right? You can never go back to the way you were. It's a coming of age story where you go from a child and then you become an adult. You can never be that child again. Knowing good and evil, you can't unknow that. And so this is a story about that.
Ladder, dude.
And it could also be a story for how important it is to listen to God.
Now, is there any information in that Genesis chapter that when God made them, they were going to die originally?
Well, it said they had to eat.
Yeah,
it said they had to eat. What happens if you don't eat? You die. So if you have to eat, that means you have to eat to live.
Hold on. Do you agree with me that eating is pleasurable?
It could be, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's why there's 500-pound motherfuckers. Okay. Now,
Touche.
I have a theory that it could be very, very wrong.
Okay.
But when God created man originally, that was the glorified body. Originally. Already.
Okay.
So we were already in that state that they talk about.
The sinless state.
Yeah. We're already there.
No sin nature, none of that.
So my theory is maybe they're just meant to be kicking it with God in all eternity. In this cool ass garden, eating fruits and berries and fucking and sucking or whatever the fuck they were doing in the garden.
Jehovah's
Okay,
Witness stuff. Okay.
I don't know.
No, this really is.
And then the minute that the devil said that, or God said that, right? That surely you will die. Meaning, maybe not at that moment, but you're going to bring in death. Meaning, you will die eventually.
Okay, you're ignoring the words that was used. In that day, surely you will die.
Yeah, in that day, surely you will die. But you know,
that phrase, the way that is said, to emphasize, to say, this day here, this is the day that you will die.
But could that mean like this is the day? Pretty much, you brought
that die. That you start the dying process and it just lasts 900 years.
Like, I just feel like that's a gangster ass fucking thing to say to somebody.
There's no way to make it say, today you're gonna die. 900 years later. You can't make. You see how that doesn't make sense when you put it together?
I don't know. It seems. It's still. I still feel like it can make sense.
Because that's 1,000. That's almost 1,000 years. He lived for 1,000 years after that day. Almost. Yeah. Okay. We don't live.
Because that was before he saw it wasn't good for man to live that long, right? And then he was like, nah, you guys got to live a little bit shorter than that.
All the way towards the beginning of that.
But the one gangster thing I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't been able to find it in there yet. I thought I Googled it and all that, but I believe it was Moses is the only one that God physically buried. Because it says it in there. And God buried him after Moses died.
I don't remember him burying any. I mean, he kind of buried the Pharaoh's army.
No, but but I thought those words meant something. For it not to happen ever.
It would mean that he.
And then
that he took.
Look, this is if you're looking at the beauty of the words in it, right?
He loved
that
Moses so much.
God could just be like, yeah, you're buried, right?
Yeah.
But for it to say those words and he buried him, in my head, I felt like the motherfucker put in the work because he respected Moses so much that he fucking.
Maybe he was upset because the last time they talked, they were fighting.
Yeah.
Remember, Moses died in the desert between Egypt and whatchamacallit, because he didn't trust God, and so God said, okay, you're never going to see the promised land. Everybody else will. When you die, then they'll find the promised land. But right now, I'm just going to have you doing donuts in a little part of the desert here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's like supposed to be like a million of them or whatever. There was supposed to be so many of them that they could hold hands from Egypt where they started to the promised land and still have like a bunch of them hanging out, right? Like it's hard pressed to get that many people in such a small area between where they started and where they ended up at. It's you could walk it in like 2 days. Okay. It's not a big area. But so yeah, God was mad at him and made him die in the desert. And so maybe he felt bad about it and was like, you know what, buddy, man, that was my fault. My bad. I should have told you the
Well, I thought they were on a fucking mountain kicking and talking and shit. They were chilling and then we were like looking over stuff and
the Old Testament God? Bro, Old Testament God.
I know Bear and the fucking Hey Baldy. I know, dude.
No. What about the Ark? What about the Ark? Not the Ark. The Ark of the Covenant. Right? Remember, they're carrying the Ark of the Covenant. You weren't allowed to touch it. They're carrying it, and that motherfucker, somebody trips or whatever, and the thing's gonna fall. And dude runs over there to grab it, like, oh no, this cannot hit the ground. This is God's Ark, and he grabs it, and then God kills him. Told you not to touch my shit, bitch. What about the guy that got killed because he's banging his brother's wife, right? He has to impregnate her because he died and she didn't have any kids by him, so she's gonna lose all of their property. So she's got to get pregnant quick, and the brother is allowed to do that. Where if she has a kid, that kid will still inherit everything that the father had before he died, right? So he's in there banging his sister-in-law, and he kind of feels bad about it. So he spunks on the ground, right? God's like, nah, homie. fucking smoke. Fucking killed him right there. He probably fell on his own spunk. Or what about the guy that sacrificed his daughter? Right? If God would, he was like Jehoiakim, something like that. Right? Fucking, he goes off to war and he's really worried about it. So he tells God, he says, God, if you let me win this fight, whatever comes through my door first, when I approach my house, I will kill for you. I'll just kill it. Right? And I'll kill it for you. I'll sacrifice it, cut the throat, burn the meat, right? Do the wave offering. And he goes, he wins, he comes home. Of course, we're all expecting a sheep to open the door and come running out. Like, sheeps do that shit all the time. I don't know. I don't know why he was expecting some livestock to come out to the front door of his house. But apparently he was expecting just livestock to use the front door. But that's not who uses the front door in real life. This time it turned out to be his daughter. His daughter sees him and comes running. Dad, you're back from war. You fucking didn't die. I love you. And he's like, fuck, now I gotta kill you. And she's like, what? He's like, seriously, I told God that if I got to win this fight, that whatever came running out the door, I would kill for him. And she was like, well, you gotta keep your promises to God. And it looks like he did come through. Let me go hang out with my friends for like a month. And then afterwards, do what you will. And then he sacrificed her when she came back.
My ass would have been in Mexico.
There's some funky stuff in there, man. If the God you're thinking about, if that God was real God, those stories wouldn't be literally true. Doesn't mean they wouldn't be in there. They tell stories that explain things. Like how important it is to listen to God. Shit like that, right? So they would still be in there, even if the God that you believe in was the real God. But it's not represented if that book is literal. That story I told you about God in the garden, that couldn't have happened literally the way that says. And the God that you think of in your head be that God. Right? That's a trickster God that set his people up to fail. That's obviously a story. Matter of fact, the flood, the term that they use, and the term that they use for the flood isn't even a Hebrew word. It came from the whatchamacallit tribes that was in the Fertile Crest. The people that influenced these writers. They wrote stories before them, and they had flood myths in their stories before the Old Testament was ever written. This is the oldest story ever written, and it comes out of Mesopotamia, not out of the Jews, right? It came out of Mesopotamia, and it's of it's the first epic. It wasn't the first story; it was the first epic, and it had Nugrutu and some. There was a flood and a boat, and they put everything on the boat, a bunch of animals, and they rowed it out to the end of the Nile. Right, all of that happened in these stories that were written before the Old Testament was written. But the flood in here, in Genesis 1, nowhere else in the Bible, Genesis 1, that flood, or Genesis 2, whatever it is, that flood in Genesis, the term that they use just then for flood, isn't a Hebrew word. It's the word that these stories were written in. It's a different language's holy book words. That's kind of a big deal that these things didn't literally happen. My problem was, when I was Christian, I believed that these literally happened. And shit like that was fucking me up. But if you don't take it that way, then shit like this doesn't fuck you up. Then yeah, no shit, it didn't really happen. But it still says these things. It still says these stories. And these stories explain shit. My bad, I got on a tangent.
No, it's okay. I mean, if we're not searching for truth, then what's the point?
I don't know. What do you think about all that? I ranted for a minute, man.